Hello, everybody, and welcome to She Rise Studios Light the Torch event for She Defies. This book is designed to be powerful, inspirational, motivational, and supportive. And I have some of the authors that appear in the book here with me now. We might have some others join us here shortly. But this book is all about defying and overcoming situations, right? Defining yourself and not allowing others to define you. So let me start out with Ariel. If you want to tell everybody where you're from, a little bit about your chapter and you.
Oh, I would love to. My name is Ariel Balfour. I am known as the Reclamation Warrior or the Viking Queen, depending on where you find me. I'm located in West Kelowna, BC, Canada, here on the beautiful West Coast in the mountains. It's gorgeous here. My chapter is actually 3 parts of my life, describing the 3 times that I actually died. And when I say this, I don't mean this lightly, not in the times of like, I came close to death. I mean, heart stopped, we're done. That was the end of my story. But I believe that I was made for more. And I know that I was made for more because every single time that I made it through each of those instances, I came back with a new perspective, a new outlook on life, and a new mission to help other people strive and succeed in every aspect of their own lives. And so I wanted to share that story because I know there are many people out there who just need that inspiration to just be like, I can do this, because me too. Like it's hard sometimes when we come up against these kind of struggles in life, but to hear that there are people who can work through them and then have made it to the other side is just the little bit of hope that we all need in order to make it through another day.
Yeah, great. And what a powerful story yours will be as the reader reads it, and all of them in their own rights. And thank you for saying yes and being part of this project. Emily, how about yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Emily Cleghorn. I am a trigger recovery coach for mamas, the host of the Mamahood After Trauma podcast. And I am passionate about sharing my story. And in the book, I talk a lot about my transition into motherhood, from being an independent person, not responsible for anybody else, and how triggering it was for me because of my traumatic childhood. And, going into motherhood, I thought that because it was a bazillion years ago, it didn't matter anymore. And boy, oh boy, was I wrong. And so my mission is to help other mamas, because I know I'm not special enough to be the only mama dealing with this, help other mamas to A, not feel so alone, and B, heal. So that is what I wrote about and my mission behind Mamahood After Trauma. And I'm just so excited for this book to be out.
Yeah, it is very exciting. It's a very powerful book, and you guys did an amazing job. Elizabeth, what about you?
Hi, everybody. Yeah, oh gosh, I could talk for 10 minutes, so somebody's going to have to cut me off. I'm in France. It's 9 o'clock. It's just gone 9 o'clock here, so it's dark. It's really cold. So it's nice to hear that you're all lovely and kind of warm and in the afternoon where you are. So amazing to be a part of this book. I sort of came to France by accident. I am a London corporate veteran, and I made a choice to cut my kite strings in 2022. And it didn't matter to me where I went. What I knew is what I wanted to feel and what I wanted to do. I wanted to write, I wanted to coach, I wanted to cook, and I wanted to connect with other people that wanted to heal, grow, and become more themselves. And in the process of deciding where to go, somebody came into my life who seemed to be the best thing that could possibly have happened to me, and turned out to be the best and the worst thing at the same time. In as much as, unfortunately, when the darkness comes, we need to seek the light to guide us. And so my chapter tells a story of finding myself abandoned in the middle of rural France at night, alone, with a bag and 5% of phone battery, and having just realized that I had escaped the most dangerous, psychopathic and abusive relationship of my life. But it begged the question in my mind, as I was trying to establish what I was going to do next. I decided to treat it like an episode of Survivor. Like, just keep going, go look for accommodation, sleep at the bus stop. Don't worry about your phone. You'll be okay, Elizabeth. You'll be okay. And then subsequently, in a country where I didn't speak the language, I didn't understand the transport system, and I had to get really resourceful, and I had to trust that I was being guided, and I was. And then I equally had to realize that the reason I had stepped into this trap, while I didn't blame myself, it was a trap that was made for somebody like me who had had the life experiences that I had with family and with workplace and so on. So this knowledge then inspired my novel, which, this chapter sort of discusses. And I really hope that the message of, in your darkest moment of despair, there are people out there who will be sent to help us. Keep your eyes out for them, and keep going. When the time comes to rescue yourself, you'll know what to do, because I did, and I didn't think I could. So that's it. Thanks for listening.
Lots of stories of survival, overcoming, and defying not only what others can define us as, but what we even maybe defined ourselves as. So that's, thank you for being part of the project. Hannah, what about you?
Hi everyone, I'm really happy to be here. I'm really excited to have taken part in this recent anthology. I'm from Worcestershire in the UK, and yes, it is the place where the source comes from. I'm an avid reader, and I've always wanted to write my own book, and what better place to start with you lovely people. I decided to write this chapter because I wanted to let other people feel empowered to know that you're able to change your path, no matter what it may be. Now, our experiences shape us, but they don't define who we are. So my story is told from the heart. It's a little bit about my experiences with my own grief journey, losing my dad when I was 13, suddenly from a heart attack, my experiences with chronic illnesses, and defying chronic childhood bullying, and how I've just turned all of those experiences around, and now I'm a trauma-informed therapist, helping other people to overcome their own challenges. And without that, I wouldn't be here on this kind of my soul-led path. So thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being part of the project, Hannah. And what I do love about this book is we do have women from all over the world, different perspectives, different backgrounds, and almost all of them are healers themselves. And, as you read the book, if a chapter or their perspective identifies with you and you feel like I really need to seek out this person or speak to this person, their contact information is there, and it's there for that purpose, because they are willing to go on that journey with you, to overcoming. Maureen, what about you? Thanks for joining us.
I had to cut my mic on. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Well, my name is Maureen McDonald Watkins. I'm from U.S., a little town called Rock Hill, South Carolina, about maybe 15 miles from Charlotte, North Carolina. So you probably heard of Charlotte, North Carolina. But anyway, the reason why I chose to write what I wrote was because I want everyone to get out of it what I got out of it. And so my story is about when I got cut on the school bus in high school. And I was only 16 years old. So, of course, you don't know a lot at 16. But I was struggling with the peers wanting me to retaliate. During that time, that's what they'll start something and get out of it, and just to see a fight. But I chose. I had a choice to make a decision: either retaliate or let God handle it. And at that age, I decided it was a tough decision, but I let God handle it. And what I got out of it, I saw how He worked. Because getting cut in your face could be traumatizing. And I actually, because I made that decision to let Him handle it, I never felt the traumatized, you know. And that was amazing, to just turn something over to somebody else. And so during the process, I was able to see how He handled things, because I never pretty much thought about it anymore. He distracted me, to the point where once me and her met again, that I was able to forgive her. And so, and after forgiving her, other things was happening. Like I ended up counseling her daughter. It was just some odd things that was happening. But I learned then, forgiveness is very a powerful thing a step that I think everyone have to take. And it's not always for the other person. It's for you. So you can move. So, by me doing it, I was able to move on with my life without having all that baggage or the fact that I'm cutting my face, to hold me back. So I was able to accomplish a lot of things in life,
Right.
with that. So that's part of my story. So I hope everyone, enjoys it as well.
Thank you, Maureen. Thank you for being part of the project as well, and thank you for bringing up the fact of a profound thought or feeling or word that kind of resounded with you, because that was going to be my next question, is to kind of go around to each of you, and what is something, maybe someone listening now, that you could give them as a theme that might be consistent through your chapter in your life, your experience, that helped it to guide you through these defying moments. Ariel?
I have the perfect one, and it's a phrase that my mom used to always say to me, and it's something that I actually have tattooed on me, and it's something I revisit regularly. And she used to always tell me, no matter how bad today seems, no matter how dreary it is outside, no matter what is happening around you, tomorrow the sun will always rise, giving you new opportunity, new life, and new perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what I live by, is that we all have bad days. We all have bad moments. I died 3 times, and this is only a section of my story. And if it wasn't for that phrase, that quote that she would say to me time and time again, I don't know what I would have focused on instead, but instead I remembered that every day gave me a new opportunity for something different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that. Emily, what about you?
There have been many times in my trauma journey, my trauma recovery journey, where I didn't feel like I was strong enough to keep going. But I think what is so important to recognize is that you are stronger than you realize.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the power to choose. You can't control what other people do to you, but you can control how you respond and how you heal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very true.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Emily. Elizabeth, what about you?
Thank you, Heather. Oh my God, you ladies are amazing. For me, I'm 6.5 years in recovery from alcoholism. So for me, no matter how, how bad life was getting and has been, and how challenging it's been for the last 2 years, don't pick up a drink one day at a time. And because I'm in fellowship and I take my disease very seriously, I look very closely at what I am and am not powerless over. And I was powerless over alcohol. Alcohol is no longer an issue for me. So when I found myself in that situation with that person and then getting away from that person, I had to really look at I was in a really difficult situation, potentially very dangerous. But what was I powerless over? What could I control and what couldn't I control? And, there were a lot of things I couldn't control, and I could only get to a place of safety and live in a caravan and dig holes to make a toilet. I had no running water, no electricity, and it was just sort of skipping around, enjoying being outdoors in France, because what else was I going to do? So I was like a kind of crazy person on this bizarre spiritual retreat, having to be at one with nature, having to babble along in franglais to just kind of try and make friends. And this, and Emily, you said it, we have the power to choose how we tackle every situation we find ourselves in. And I think everything that I certainly went through showed me that I was powerless over alcohol. I was powerless over the things that had happened to me that got me into that situation. I was blind to them until suddenly the blinkers came off and I could see it all. And that's when my power came back.
Thank you. Hannah, what about you?
I think I'd like to touch on kind of like what Emily said as well, is that we can't control what other people say or do or think about us, but we can only control how we feel and think and say about ourselves, and then not let other people's hate get into our hearts. They're talking from their own wounded place, and they've all got their own problems, and it's not a reflection on us and ourselves and our journey. And to just stay strong and true, and if you put your heart in the right place, then it'll all work out in the end. And I think that you've just got to be the hero of your own story and pick things up for yourself, and not let them tear you down.
Yeah, great point, Hannah. Hero of your own story. Maureen, what about you? What would you like to add?
I would say there's a lot of power in the word decision, because you have to make, I don't want to say you have to, but if you think about making a decision, you have to think about the power behind it, because that's what I was faced with, the decision. So when you choose the right decision, make the right decision, things will fall into place. I think, it's a process, and that's something we fail to realize, the process. We want things to happen overnight, but you have to go through the process to get a better outcome. And don't be afraid of the process. I think that's what we do. We're afraid. We want to jump over A, B, C and get all the way to D, but go through the process. There's so much learning and lesson out of that process.
Yes, a lot of instant gratification, especially now in the world that we live in, and people just want things to happen instantaneously, and they don't. But when you make that decision, and I think a lot of times we have fear about that decision.
Yes.
We're letting fear lead us for that decision because we inevitably know both sides of that decision, but because we fear the work that's going to need to be put in for that decision, we just fail to make it. Yes. But realizing it is one step at a time, it is one day at a time. Like Ariel said, the next day will be different. Whatever that challenge or good thing is, it will be different. And moving forward, like you said, just controlling how we handle a situation, you know. And, you know, Elizabeth, I know your story. I know your first book. She and I have been on a journey of publishing for a while now. And, you know, like I said, each one of these stories are so powerful in their own right. And they're all very different, right? These are all different things that each of you had to overcome or might still be working through, right? And that's okay. But the fact that you're all willing to be transparent and share, you know, and, you know, just like Hannah and a lot of you work with people every day to help them. It's part of your healing journey, helping heal others. And that's what this book is really designed to do, is to be a guiding light and a healing light for others. These are powerful stories, just like it says. And don't forget, these women not only were completely transparent and vulnerable and willing to share their journeys with you, but they're willing to help you walk your journey too. So go get a copy of the book, She Defies. It's available now on ebook. And just a few short weeks, it'll be available on paperback. You can go and get a copy, highlighter out, journal out, take the notes. You know, each one of them are going to give you little nuggets that are going to be life changing. And if you really find that something just completely resonates with you, reach out to them. That's the whole purpose of them doing this book, is to help as many people across the world as they can. Because that's just the good hearts and souls that each one of them have. So ladies, thank you for being here and having this conversation with me. Congratulations. This project you all have been working so hard on is here and done and ready to be shared with the world. I can't wait to talk to you all and see the celebration in a couple weeks of all of the amazing milestones this book hits. And I look forward to celebrating with you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.